Howdy and welcome. My name is Rebecca Weaver. We're going to be multiplying polynomials today. So let's multiply. First up, 4 times the quantity x minus 2. Now that's 4 times that whole chunk, x minus 2. That's why it's in parentheses. So we want 4 times the x and 4 times the minus 2. So we're going to use the distributive property is what this is formally called. And we'll multiply the 4 times the x minus 4 times 2 is 8, so we get 4x minus 8 for this one. Next up, 2x times the quantity x minus 1. So that's once again 2x times each of those. So we're going to do that, and we'll get 2x times x, that's 2x squared, minus 2x times the 1, well, that's minus 2x. Next up, we've got minus 2x times the quantity 3x squared minus x plus y. Yikes! That means I've got to distribute that minus 2x to all of those guys. Let's take this one bite at a time. So we're going to say minus 2x times the 3x squared. That's going to be minus 6x cubed. Then the minus 2x times the minus x, that's plus 2x squared. Last up, minus 2x times y, that is minus 2xy. All right, now I need to look and make sure. Do I have any like terms here? Is anybody in one of these chunks the same? They're not. So you know what? I'm done. Next up, sometimes they're written like this. The quantity x squared minus x times x cubed. It's not any different. It's each one of those terms times the x cubed. So we're going to just take this one bite at a time. X cubed times x squared, well, that's x to the 5th, minus x to the 4th. Like terms? No. So let's play again. Wow. We've got x plus 2, that whole quantity, times x plus 3, that whole quantity. So that means each one of those terms times the other. So it's going to be this, this x times the x plus 3. Then we're going to have to do the 2 times the x plus 3. So let's just take this one bite at a time. X times x, that's x squared, plus 3x. All right, next up, we got to deal with the 2. So let's do the 2 times the x plus 2 times 3. That is plus 2x plus 6. Now, some people call this the FOIL method, which is fine if you want to call it that. It's the same thing no matter what you do, but it's each term times all the other ones. One thing we also have to do is look to see if I have any like terms. I do. Look at that. Those are sometimes called the middle terms because they kind of happen in the middle when you're doing this multiplying. Sometimes they do. So adding those like terms, I end up with x squared plus 5x plus 6. All right, let's play again. I've got x plus 2 times the quantity x minus 3. So I just put in a minus here to see what would happen. You're going to do the same thing. I've got to distribute that x to both those two guys. Then I'm going to distribute the 2 to both of those two guys. So let's eat. X times x is x squared minus 3x. That's the first part. The bottom part here is going to be 2 times x is plus 2x. 2 times a minus 3 is a minus 6. Watch these positives and negatives. That's usually the place students tend to have trouble. I have the middle terms they're like, so I need to subtract minus 3x plus 2x. That's a minus x, so just write everybody else down. I get x squared minus x minus 6. All right, let's play again where everybody is a minus sign here. So x minus 2 times x minus 3. Same thing, distribute the x. Distribute the minus 2. Watch this distributing the minus 2. That's where I see most of the mistakes students make. X times the x is x squared. X times the minus 3, that's minus 3x. Now let's deal with the 2. Minus 2 times x, well, that's minus 2x. Here's the tricky part. Minus 2 times minus 3 is plus 6. Be careful on that. So next, we will just write down the sum of that minus 3x minus 2x, and I'll get the minus 5x, coming to our total of x squared minus 5x plus 6. All right. Yikes, this one is big. All right, going to distribute that 5x, and let's do it. 5x times the 2x is 10x squared. 5x times the 3 is plus 15x. Let's deal with the 2. The 2 times the 2x is 4x. The 2 times the 3 is 6. Got some like terms here. Adding those, I end up with 10x squared plus 19x plus 6. All right, let's play again. I've got 5x plus 2 times, oh, we're changing the sign in this next one, 2x minus 3, that whole quantity. You know what to do. Distribute the 5x, distribute the 2. So distributing that 5x, watching our signs, that's going to be 10x squared minus 15x. Now the 2 times the 2x is going to be plus 4x minus 6. Got some like terms. I'm going to add this and I'll get 10x squared minus 9x minus 6. All right, I bet we're going to do this with minus signs in both of those two. Yep, distribute the 5x, distribute the 2. Let's do 5x times 2x, that's 10x squared. 5x times the minus 3 is minus 15x. Minus 2 times 2x is minus 4x. Minus 2 times minus 3 is plus 6. Like terms here, we get 10x squared minus 19x plus 6. All right. All right, up next we have x plus 2 times x minus 2. Now this one is very special and something magical happens when you multiply these two because it is an x plus 2 and an x minus 2. When you have these special guys, watch what happens. So we're going to do the same thing, x times each of those. And let's go ahead and get what that is. That's x squared minus 2x. I'm going to distribute that 2. And we're going to end up with plus 2x minus 4. Watch these middle guys. Yikes. That goes to 0. This is just x squared minus 4. Oh my goodness. Beautiful. Let's go to our next one. The quantity x plus a times 2x minus 3a. Yeah, okay. Going to distribute our x. Going to distribute our a. And then we'll see if we have any like terms. X times 2x, that's 2x squared. X times minus 3a is minus 3ax. Now, I'm compulsive, so I like to have mine in alphabetical order, so I do like to put it like this. Now, a times the 2x, that's plus 2ax minus 3a squared. Let me get rid of that 6. I don't know where he came from. Okay, now he's doesn't have that 6 there. All right, so I can continue on. We do have some like terms here. Notice those two guys in the middle are like terms. So we can add them, and minus 3ax plus 2ax is going to be minus ax. So just put that together with everything we have left. That's 2x squared minus ax minus 3a. All right, up next, the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity 2x squared minus x minus 3. This just means you're going to take that x, distribute him to everybody. You're going to take that minus 2, distribute him to everybody. And let's see what we've got. When the x gets distributed, we've got x times 2x squared. Well, that's 2x cubed. X times the minus x, well, that's minus x squared. The x times the minus 3, that's minus 3x. Then we're going to do the minus 2 times the 2x squared, well, that's minus 4x squared. Minus 2 times minus x, that's plus 2x. Minus 2 times minus 3, plus 6. Like terms, there's a couple right there. See those minus x squared and minus 4x? Well, that's minus 5x squared. Look at these two guys, minus 3x and a plus 2x, that's going to be a minus x. Put it all together. I've got 2x cubed minus 5x squared minus x plus 6. All right, this particular topic is very fundamental to what you're going to be doing in math for however many classes that you take for your rest of math career. If this is your last math class, you still have quite a bit to do with it because you're going to be working these backwards in the next chapter. So really get good at these going forwards. Everything that you are working from now on will tend to have some of this in there in the rest of your math classes. All right, so it's kind of important, is what I'm trying to say. So be sure you've got it down pat. And if you have any questions, be sure and email me, rweaver10@alaska.edu, and have a fabulous day.